Observe your baseline experience of consciousness. You feel separate from your physical body, an observer looking out to pilot a biological machine. René Descartes formalized this feeling into substance dualism. This is the model claiming that mental substance, the mind, and physical substance, the body, are two distinct categories of existence. It proposes a forward causal loop where a mental, immaterial decision results in the physical movement of your arm. It also relies on a reverse causal loop. A physical event, like photons hitting your retina, generates the immaterial, subjective experience of vision. While this loop matches human intuition, it relies on a structural flaw that becomes apparent when subjected to the laws of physics. Taking causation seriously introduces the interaction problem. This is the logical hurdle that prevents an immaterial substance from influencing a physical one. The physical brain operates under specific parameters. It has measurable mass, consumes physical energy, and exists at specific coordinates. The immaterial mind, by definition, lacks these properties. It possesses no mass, consumes no physical energy, and has no spatial dimensions. For any two entities to interact, they must exist within a shared mechanical framework. Under the constraints of modern physics, any mental event capable of causing a physical action must itself be physical. Substance dualism makes a mechanical claim about how the universe operates. That claim must answer to the known rules of physics. The microscopic reality of the human brain is an intensely active environment of biological synapses, continuously firing through dynamic, measurable energy pulses. Physical causation operates strictly through specific mechanisms: forces, energy transfer, fields, and particle interactions. These causal mechanisms are quantifiable. They are measurable. The immaterial mind possesses no physical variables. There is no mass or energy to plug into a physics equation. How does an entity with zero mass and zero energy physically move a biological neuron? Without a mechanism to couple with physical forces, the immaterial mind is completely barred from altering the physical universe. This diagram models the human brain as a closed thermodynamic system. The conservation of energy requires that the total energy inside this system remain constant. It cannot be created or destroyed. Suppose an external, non-physical mind decides to intervene and alter a physical state inside this brain network. If the mind moves the neuron, it must inject new kinetic energy into the closed system. This spontaneous generation of energy is a violation of foundational physics. It is never observed in neurobiology. If the mind moves the neuron without using energy, physical causation is incomplete. Causation without energy transfer does not exist in the physical world. To believe in a non-physical mind that alters physical reality is to believe in a force that breaks the most reliable laws of nature. Philosophers have attempted to build logical escapes to protect the immaterial mind from these physical constraints. One approach is epiphenomenalism. This theory claims the mind observes the brain but exerts no energy and causes nothing. A mind without causal power is functionally inert. It makes consciousness a passenger, which contradicts the experience of intentional action. Another claim is that the mind interacts with the brain through currently unknown physics. Discovering a new measurable force simply categorizes it as part of the physical world. This argument accidentally reinvents materialism. A third attempt is occasionalism, the idea that the mind and body never touch, but are synchronized by an external cosmic force. Replacing biological interaction with cosmic synchronization abandons empirical observation and predictive science. These three common strategies illustrate a consistent trade-off. Either the mind loses its ability to act, or it becomes indistinguishable from a physical force. Dualists often argue that abstract concepts like information and logic exist as immaterial substances separate from the universe. Under physicalism, logic is a human model of physically coherent state relations. The laws of logic describe the regular constraints under which physical systems avoid incoherent or contradictory transitions. Information can be defined within this same physical framework. Information is a descriptive label for the arrangement and correlation of physical states. There is fundamentally no separate, immaterial thing called information floating in the void. There are only physical systems existing in particular, describable structural states. Anchoring abstract concepts into physical architecture removes the need for an immaterial realm to host them. We can now evaluate the competing frameworks of consciousness using a strict empirical comparison. This matrix evaluates both models. For causation, dualism breaks physics, while materialism remains consistent. Regarding ontological requirements, dualism necessitates undetectable substances. Materialism relies on the measurable. Finally, materialism accurately predicts brain behavior, whereas dualism offers zero empirical evidence. When scored on scientific utility and factual observation, materialism is the framework that survives. Causal logic dictates that if event A causes event B, event A must be part of the same causal system as event B. Since the brain is a physical causal system, any mind that affects it must also be physical. This conclusion replaces the intuition that we are ghosts driving biological machines with a unified view of the self. Mental states are biological facts. They are as undeniably physical as the complex biological synapses that generate them. Monism aligns the reality of the mind with the laws governing the rest of the natural world.